week 4 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few tight ends I have as sleeper options this week. The first tight end, Noah Fant of the Seattle Seahawks. Noah Fant, I know the numbers haven't been great this season, but tight end as a whole, no one's really done much in and out, week in and week out. We know Goddard had one big game, Cole Kmet, Brock Bowers, likely, but besides that, not much has gone on this season. And underperforming tight ends all around fantasy football. Week 3 was his best game of the year versus the Dolphins, 6 catches, 60 yards. The only thing this week, he's the 4th or 5th option on this offense behind Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett, and whoever's the running back in Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet is Noah Fant. So like I said, the last couple of years, his numbers haven't been great. He was an undrafted tight end in most fantasy leagues, unless you're in the deepest of leagues. Right now, though, surprisingly, he's only out there in 68%. I thought he'd be available in more leagues, is Noah Fant. So if you need a deep sleeper in a potential shootout matchup at the Detroit Lions, I think Fant could do that for fantasy owners. The next tight end is Eric Gould Jr. of the Cincinnati Bengals. So I know Mike Gesicki's the starting tight end, obviously, for the Cincinnati Bengal team, and he's been solid so far in the early going. He's Mike Gesicki, one of the better tight ends in fantasy football. And Eric Gould Jr., the last 2 weeks he's seen the field. And Joe Burrow, he's really doing a good job spreading the football out so far in the early going, even though it hasn't resulted in any victories. Week 2 at Kansas City, 4 catches, 32 yards on 4 targets. In week 3 versus the Commanders, 4 catches, 22 yards on 4 targets. So the last 2 games, 8 targets combined for Gould Jr. And that's a solid number, I believe, as a backup tight end. And this week, it's a good matchup where I think Burrow, once again, he's going to spread out this Carolina Panther defense. They know they're going to have to put points on the board early and often where they can't keep their foot off the gas. Because if they go 0-4, the season's obviously over for the Cincinnati Bengal team. And Eric Gould, he's a big target, 6'7", 6'8", where you could use him in the red zone. And like I said, Joe Burrow spreading that football out, and he's looking his way. So this week, if he had, let's say, like 20 yards and a touchdown, it wouldn't be surprising. And he's available in 99% of fantasy leagues. And the third and final tight end I have is a sleeper this week, Brenton Strange of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Strange available in 84% of fantasy leagues. He even cracked my top 15 if you watch my top 15 rankings at the tight end position. It looks like Evan Ingram's out once again, where they said his status is uncertain and the injuries week to week. And the last 2 weeks for Strange, week 2 versus Cleveland, 3 catches, 65 yards. And then last week at Buffalo, 2 catches, 12 yards, and found the end zone on 5 targets. So Trevor Lawrence, we always know he's like targeting the tight end. Last season, Evan Ingram had over 120 catches, which is a monster number for a tight end. So I think Strange in a ball game where they're going to be chasing points most likely is this Jaguar team. At the Houston Texans, who are a high-powered offense, I think he's a solid sleeper option this week. So that's a few tight ends I have as sleepers for week 4 of the fantasy football season.